G'day guys, Al here from the Real Dad Movement. Got a special guest with us today. Joining us is Zach to share his story and give a bit of insight into how he has found our challenge so far over the last 4 weeks. So thanks for joining us today, Zach.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, mate. Well, look, what we want to do here, mate, I guess, is show a lot of the other dads who might be on the other side and not quite sure of where they're at the moment, or looking for the answer or some sort of direction and clarity in what they want to achieve in their life, mate. But I guess with yourself, mate, let's just start with your story and where you were before you started the challenge.
Sure. So I turned 40 in August and have spent the last 3 years working pretty hard, kind of 80-hour weeks, a lot of driving, and I've got 2 young girls, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Life's good, but it's hard. It's hard. As most people know, it can be a bit of a grind working to support the family. And what normally happens is you tend to put your health second and the job first, because you need the finances coming in. And what would happen is I would go through stints of trying to get myself back together and get my health, focus on all of that, and often get a few weeks into it and then become destabilized for whatever reason. Either the work picked up and I had to work extra and was, going to sugar and energy drinks and things for kind of the extra energy to get me through, or just physical exhaustion, basically from the lack of sleep that you get when you're a parent, and everything else that goes with that. So where it left me was basically just grinding away, not a lot of hope for the future and my own ability to kind of do this on my own, and almost at the point of kind of giving up, and just depressed and kind of unhappy about the whole situation. So
you're not alone with that too, mate. I mean, there's a lot of dads out there who are probably feeling the same, but like, where did you feel that road was going to eventually go for you? Like, if you didn't do something or take action?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've had times in the past where I've been great with my health, and I've spent the last 3 years kind of trying to get to that, and with limited success. I'd use kind of shake systems and calorie deficit basically to have weight loss, but it wasn't getting me the improvement and the sustainability that I needed. So as I said, I'd kind of almost given up, and I thought that that was it. I was going to be a big bloody lump for the future going forward, and it was kind of over for me, and I was kind of letting that circulate inside my head. Of it's like, oh well, you're a dad now, this is kind of the way it's going to be, and it's about the girls, it's about the family, and you just kind of have to suffer as a result of that. And the reality is that's not true, and it doesn't take a lot to change. And you've certainly provided the roadmap and the tools to make that happen in a very short amount of time as well. So thank you very much for that, and I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, no, awesome, mate, and appreciate the accolades. But it's funny when you mentioned that, like what you said then about like it's just a dad, just what we do. I mean, knowing now what you know compared to where we were 4 weeks ago, like you say, it's all about the girls and sacrifice that for them. But like, how do you think if you were just like a big lump, so to speak, you said, like, how would that have impacted them? Would you?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Exactly, and you're absolutely right. That's running through your head as well. So it's that duality of going, I need to be the best for them, but I also need to be the best for the job. And the job, often, workplaces are like these days. They'll try and extract every bit they can from you, and it was easier to fall into, I give up. One of those guys who would often start again on Monday. So I'd have 2-3 weeks of good eating, clean living, with that in mind of being the best version of myself for myself and for them, and knowing that they need me at my best, so that I, one, have energy to play with them, 2, have a positive outlook, and them to see me as happy, because they don't want to see dad coming home and being grumpy, tired, just not enthusiastic about life in general. So I think I've forgotten where I was going to go with that.
Well, I mean, we're talking about how like you said, it's that duality. You want to just give everything to your kids, but you're in a position where you can't because physically you're not there, all that sort of stuff. But I guess, mate, fast forward 4 weeks now, and in such a short period of time, like what's being with the RDM journey and with other like-minded dads, like how have you found your experience, mate? And what's changed for you?
Everything's changed for starters. The experience has been fantastic from before we started. Once we, just basically from day one, everything's improved. The mentality, the attitude towards my future, getting back into the gym and training and eating right. I mean, all of those things have a great effect on your mentality just on their own, which is well known, and it's great to be putting that back into action, but also having the framework there to attach the accountability, the support that comes from you. I mean, Jesus, mate, you've got to be one of the hardest working blokes I've ever come across, mate. In the 4 weeks I've known you, like my hat goes off to you, mate, because you're an inspiration. It's changed in every way possible, basically. I notice it at work, I notice it at home, and I've only just begun as well. I've still got a long way to go, and I can't wait to keep going with this and see what else I can conquer.
Absolutely, mate. And how does the future look for you now, knowing that I guess you've got a good team environment, good group, and myself to help steer the ship, especially on those days where it's rocking, or it might be more character building days instead compared to others.
Sure, it looks great. I mean, it looks really good. It's planned out. I mean, that's the thing. We make plans and follow through with them. What are we coming into Christmas now? Christmas is normally a time where, like for me, it's just like chocolate and booze and cheese and one thing after another. So many social and family things to go to, and then you come out the other side just feeling ruined and like not refreshed. But it's going to be different this time. Like I'm over that. What would normally happen with me is I'd go through working my ass off and then think to myself while I'm working, I need a break. I need a time where I can just take some time off and then just go and get clean. And the reality is you take the time off and you end up going out for lunch, and it never ends up happening, or it certainly didn't for me anyway. This time I've got a plan going into Christmas. Like I had my little brother's engagement party last week, went to that, had one beer, didn't even need it, to be honest. And since starting this, I've had a bunch of social engagements where I just haven't felt like drinking, or I've eaten clean, and it feels different to any other time I've done it before. So coming into Christmas, I'm not interested in the chocolate and the cheese and all of that. I mean, maybe a little bit to it's not about going to extremes, but it's more the mentality and just not wanting that for myself. I'm seeing the improvements already. There's slight improvements, but certainly noticeably in my mentality. So I was saying to my wife earlier, it's like I don't want chocolate in my stocking this year. I want MCT oil, and I want bloody magnesium and things like that are going to kind of help me with this journey.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And it's funny you touch on that in extremes. Like, do you feel like obviously we are different, and we touch on the coaching and the pathway as well as the group. It's not just a quick fix or some fad. Like how have you felt? Like, have you felt that we're not restrictive, like, with our diet and nutrition? Like, we're pretty open, like nothing we're doing is extreme or restrictive in any way?
Absolutely not. No. It's different. As I said, I've done shake systems before where it throws you into calorie deficit, and I thought that was kind of how it was done. And it wasn't until, I mean, even week 1 when we'd started the training where it became, really apparent to me at the end of the week that I wasn't eating enough, and I was eating what felt like enough for me, but my body on the Friday kind of was like, I was exhausted and kind of shut down, because it was like, dude, you're not eating enough. And once I, spoke with you, got the advice about the nutrition and where I needed to be with my calorie intake, it was it changed everything. And it's certainly not restrictive in terms of food.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like, that's the problem that a few of our dads have had. It's like, I can't eat enough, but a good problem to have instead of just bloody starving yourself or relying on liquids, mate. But no, awesome. Thanks for sharing all that as well, Zach. And hopefully that gives a bit of insight into some of our dads who might not be on board with the program yet, but are watching this right now. And I guess my next thing, mate, would be like, what would you say to those dads? Like, we've got a dad here watching this right now, watching this testimonial, and obviously your feedback and your experience so far, and he's either sitting on the fence or he knows he needs a shift or a change in his life. Like, what would be your advice to them? What would you say to him?
Do it. Life's too short. Certainly with your kids as well. There's time's too short with them. Don't waste it being a lesser quality version of yourself than you can be. Put in the effort. Yes, there'll be times where it's hard, but you're going to improve as a result of that. You're going to learn more, and you're going to come out the other side a stronger, better version of yourself. Not just for yourself, but for everyone around you, and you can be of service to everyone you come into contact with. And that's what we're all here for, in my opinion. So don't think twice. Get into it.
I love it, mate. Thanks again, and thanks for sharing the time, mate, and coming on board with us today. I really appreciate you and all the other dads who are part of our program. And look, if you are one of those dads watching this right now, like Zach hit the nail on the head, there will be hard times, but it's worth it, and they will come and they will pass, because you have the community and the group here and the coaching and leadership and structure to make those improvements and achieve your own level of greatness for yourself and for your family. So, if you're watching this, I hope it resonates with you guys, and if there's anywhere where you can reach out or take action or click, or at any stage when you're watching this, take that step. Don't look for the shiny objects and the quick fixes. Like, let's make this the last thing that you need to do to really set you up for the rest of your life, for you and your legacy and your children and your children's children. So thanks for tuning in and watching this. And Zach, thanks again for joining us, mate. You're a legend, mate. Really appreciate your help.
Thanks, Al.
And I'll see you in the group, mate.
Good one. See you guys.
Mate.